What's good, y'all? I've got some very simple but very effective and fitting buffs for Omastar. Before I get into them, I want to have a quick disclaimer for any new viewers who are here to check out the move sheet in the description. I have buffed and changed the overwhelming majority of moves in this hack, and I'm not under-exaggerating when I say that. Sorry, I'm not over-exaggerating when I say that. It's immense, all right? If you look on screen right now, you can see this big move sheet. It's got all types of nice categories to make it way easier to navigate. You can also just scroll, honestly. I don't like if you're new here and you're just completely checking out these all for the first time. I don't think scrolling is a bad idea at all. Otherwise, you might miss some important ones if you just click and click and click. But look however you want. Point is though, pretty much every single move is buffed or changed. There are also 130 plus custom new ones as well that you can check out in the description as well, and other useful sheets in the bottom, like bug and ice type buffs, held item buffs, all that kind of stuff. New abilities, which there are 20 plus of. Can this load, man? Jesus, come on. Thank you. So Omastar, it's kind of hard to buff Omastar while also obeying by the philosophies I have with this hack, which are, not that he's not buffed, because he's great. I mean, Strength Stab and Sturdy and Shell Armor in a move in a hack where there's dozens of 100% crit moves running around. It's a great Pokemon. It just might be kind of boring buff-wise. A lot of the Pokemon have like really cool reworks and buffs. Omastar, it got Sturdy. Shell Armor it already had, but Shell Armor is actually a much better ability in this hack because of the fact that there are crit moves running around everywhere, and the counterplay to those is very limited because you can't use Intimidate or attack dropping moves against critical hits because it bypasses through. So having Shell Armor Pokemon is pretty crucial. It's a nice way to counter those guys. I'll actually just cover them now, but as I'm showing these crit moves on screen, I want to tell you the reason why I didn't give it a special attack boost or a speed boost or an HP boost. I don't see any of those. I mean, HP maybe could be like 80 tops, but at that point I'd rather just have... I guess I could have done like 75 HP, 135 defense or something. It doesn't matter, alright? It doesn't really matter. How big is Omastar? Yeah, 70 HP is more fitting. So yeah, all of these moves, these are the 50% crit moves, but here is a whole list of moves that will always crit. All right, it's pretty crazy. There's a bunch of them. There's also an ability called Ruthless, which gives these a 50% boost. So completely being able to like nerf the damage, for example, a Ruthless Pokemon with a scope lens, using these 50% crit moves will have 158 base power moves. Those go down to only 70 base power. They're doing significantly less damage. First impression, and all these moves are significantly weaker as well when you are, taking advantage. What am I trying to say? When you are switching in on them with Shell Armor. And the beautiful thing in this ROM hack is that every single Pokemon is balanced to have two relatively equal useful abilities that they can switch between with an infinite use ability capsule. So basically you're using Sturdy in a lot of fights. Strength Sap is a beautiful recovery move for them. The flavor for that is kind of the same as Kabutops. If it's Kabutops, way more, because Kabutops literally says that he like sucks the fluid, like the life fluid out of the opponent, when he kills his prey. But Omastar is similar. It just says he uses his tentacles to catch a prey, and he uses his like fangs to tear at the prey. Nothing says he explicitly like... Oh, no, I was right. Apparently it cracked Shelter's shell with its sharp fangs and sucked out the insides. So there you go. There's the flavor for Shell's Strength Sap. It's also just a really good move that keeps him from being underwhelming, because there are other Water Rock types who are also really good defensively in this hack because of their abilities in move pool. So, Omastar is the only one of those. Omastar and Kabutops are the only one of those to get Strength Sap. Maybe Corsola too. I forget. But, it's even better on Omastar than it is on Kabutops, arguably, because Kabutops is more offensively oriented. Omastar is still strong, but it's it's no longer just a boring Shell Smash button. Shell Smash is a late game option. You're only going to have that for the latter half. Basically, you'll have it for all of Pony Island, which is pretty good. Most Pokemon actually learn Shell Smash in the 60s, but Omastar I gave it to a little bit earlier because it would appreciate having it earlier than other Pokemon. Sturdy though is great with Strength Sap. Sturdy is great with Rock Polish, which now gives you an accuracy boost as well as +2 speed. With 55 base speed and +2. In competitive, that's not that quick, right? Because there's choice covers, there's really high base speed tier Pokemon you gotta worry about because, especially in like higher tiers, whatever, like they're gonna be always using the fastest guys. But in game, 55 base speed with +2 is actually plenty fast. In fact, you don't even need max speed investment sometimes to outspeed everything on the opponent's team. And with access to infinite EV training items, or instant EV training items rather, you can swap around your EVs. You can run a max speed, Sturdy, Shell Smash or Sturdy Rock Polish set for certain boss fights, and then for the very next one, you can run a max bulk Shell Armor Strength Sap thing, whatever you want to do. I would say you should use the defensive sets for the majority of the game. Rock Polish, Sturdy, Weakness Policy is a good option to cheese the AI for a couple of like niche gimmicky boss fights, but as a whole, you are still vulnerable to priority. Although with your great defense, you can tank, strong priority attacks for sure with that Rock Polish, Sturdy, Shell Smash set. The thing is though, like you need HP to do that. So with the sturdy set specifically, you know, you're vulnerable to priority still. But yeah, they have really cool options, man. So Withdraw is great for Shell Armor as well. So not only is there a giant array of crit moves with limited counterplay, not that you need a Shell Armor mon to like deal with it. I mean, you can always just outspeed them. You can use your own priority moves against them. You know, there's a bunch of other ways to deal with it. But having a Shell Armor mon is really nice. Like, phew, you know, you can just have that safe switch in and kill them back. And you can also Strength Sap to keep yourself healthy. So it's a great Pokemon in this hack because of that alone. Sturdy is more of a situational thing. It's still good. Shell Armor also is useful in that it allows you to set up stuff like Iron Defense or Withdraw. Withdraw functions like Cosmic Power now. So those two moves work really well with Shell Armor, especially because the guaranteed crit moves will not be able to bypass your defense boosts. So that's all really fun with Strength Sap. You know, Strength Sap Withdraw, you can become immortal and just like live forever. That's really good. Your Rock Water typing, yes, you do have common weaknesses, but in game you're fighting against AI. It's not hard to just pivot around against super effective attacks. You have great coverage moves. So like I was saying earlier, Rock Polish gives you an accuracy boost, which works really well with Hydro Pump, Focus Blast, and then moves like Sludge Wave and Mud Bomb, which are both Sludge Wave and Mud Bomb are both 110 base power moves that are 90% accurate and drop speed by -1. So both of those work really well with Rock Polish, especially with Sturdy. Shell Armor is a defensive ability, obviously, or, you know, stuff for like Withdraw, while Sturdy is more of like an offensive setup ability. Although, honestly, you can also just use Sturdy to take hits, like for certain boss fights. Like you can just lead off with your Omastar, take a hit that would otherwise kill you, and then kill them back, you know, something like that. You also have great defensive utility, like, again, not just Strength Set, but also stuff like Parting Shot, T-Spikes. Parting Shot being a very common wildly distributed move in this hack, just for, you know, again, more defensive counterplay for all the crazy stuff flying around. Haze is really nice. You know, you got all types of priority haze. You know, Tickle sounds like a meme, but it's genuinely a good option when you're fighting against AI, of course. Yeah, Hydro Cannon and Mineral Shower both function like Trickle Meteor, so those are both really strong options. Ancient Force is awesome. Ancient Force works well, especially with Shell Smash plus Sturdy, because you actually have the ability. You don't have to run Focus Sash, right? So you can, not that you would need Focus Sash to shut up a Shell Smash, especially when you're this bulky, but what you can do is you can get off that Shell Smash, and then you can use Ancient Force to get a 120 base power move of any type, as long as you're holding a plate. That functions like Judgment, right? So on all the special fossils and a bunch of other Pokemon that get this move, is really nice for that infinite coverage. Although honestly, your coverage is already good enough. Water Rock is already good dual stab. And you already have good coverage like Giga Drain, Ice Beam, well, Ice moves rather. So Blizzard, I also forgot to mention, works well with Rock Polish. You know, you got Focus Blast late game. All types of really good stuff for coverage. You know, you got what you need. It's got the good stuff. But with Ancient Force, if you need to specifically hit a very specific Pokemon versus that, holy crap, my throat is getting, hold on. Excuse me, I know that's a gross ass sound. I hate when people think a gross sound to me. Yeah, I don't know. It's just very simple buffs and changes overall. It's very solid, very good, strong, bulky. Shell Armor is great. I actually just changed it from Weak Armor. Weak Armor is cool and all, but like it drops your defense, so you're even more vulnerable to priority than you would be otherwise. So it's just kind of like whatever. Especially when you don't even resist first impression. I don't know. I don't like Weak Armor on them too much. I'd rather have Shell Armor for that defensive utility, because you're not trying to set up every boss fight. Setup in general is heavily nerfed in like a million different ways in this hack. So I'd rather just have the utility that comes with Shell Armor in this hack. Very good ability. And then Sturdy is nice. So yeah, Strength Step, great move. Great high base power stat moves, good special attack stat, great bulk. Very simple overall. Thanks so much for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'll be back for more buffs and changes coming up. Peace, y'all.